The Story of the Three Bears by Anonymous. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lucy Perry. The Story of the Three Bears by Anonymous. There were once 3 bears who lived in a wood. Their porridge was thick and their chairs and beds good. The biggest bear, Bruin, was surly and rough. His wife, Mrs. Bruin, was called Mammy Muff. Their son, Tiny Cub, was like Dame Goose's lad. He was not very good, nor yet very bad. Now Bruin, the biggest, the surly old bear, had a great granite bowl and a cast-iron chair. Mammy Muff's bowl and chair you would no doubt prefer. They were both made of brickbats, but both suited her. Young Tiny Cub's bowl, chair and bed were the best. This Big Bears and Baby Bears freely confessed. Mr. B with his wife and his son went one day to take a short stroll and a visit to pay. He left the door open, "For," said he, "no doubt, if our friend should call in, he will find us all out." It was only 2 miles from dark Hazelnut Wood, in which the great house of the 3 Bruins stood, that there lived a young miss daring, funny and fair, and from having bright curls she was called Golden Hair. She had roamed through the wood to see what she could see, and she saw going walking the Bruins all 3. Said she to herself, "To rob bears is no sin. The 3 bears have gone out, so I think I'll go in." She entered their parlour, and she saw a great bowl, and in it a spoon like a hair-cutter's pole. "That porridge," said she, "may stay long enough there. It tastes like the food of the surly old bear." She tried Mammy Muff's, and she said, "Mrs. B, I think your taste and my taste will never agree." Then she tried Tiny Cub's bowl and said, "This is nice. I will put in some salt, and of bread a thick slice." The porridge she eat soon made her so great, the chair that she sat on broke down with her weight. The bottom fell out, and she cried in dismay, "This is Tiny Cub's chair, and oh, what will he say? His papa is, I know, the most savage of bears. His mamma is a fury, but for her who cares? I'm sure I do not. And then as for her son, that young bear Tiny Cub, from him shall I run? No, not I indeed, but I will not sit here. I shall next break the floor through, that's what I most fear." So upstairs she ran, and there 3 beds she found. She looked under each one, and she looked all around. But no one she saw, so she got into bed. It was surly old Bruin's, and well stuffed with lead. Mammy Muff's next she tried, it was stuffed with round stones, so she got into Tiny Cub's and rested her bones. Golden Hair was asleep when the 3 bears came in. Said Big Bruin, "I'm hungry, to eat let's begin. Who has been to my porridge?" he roared with such might. His voice was like wind down the chimney at night. "Who has been at my porridge?" growled out Mrs. B. Her voice was like cats fighting up in a tree. "Who has been at my porridge and eaten it all?" young Tiny Cub said in a voice very small. "Who has been sitting in my great armchair?" in a voice like a thunderstorm roared the big bear. "Who has been sitting in my good armchair?" growled out Mammy Muff like a sow in despair. "Who has sat in my nice chair and broken it down?" young Tiny Cub said, and so fierce was his frown that his mother with pride to his father said, "There! See our pet Tiny Cub can look just like a bear." So roaring and growling and frowning the bears, one after another came running upstairs. "Who has been in my bed?" old Bruin roared out, in a voice just like rain down a large waterspout. "Who has been upon my bed?" growled out Mammy Muff, in a voice like her husband's, but not quite so rough. "Who is lying on my bed?" said young Tiny Cub, in a voice like hot water poured into a tub. And Tiny Cub's breath was so hot as he spoke, that Golden Hair dreamt of hot water and woke. She opened her eyes and saw the 3 bears, and said, "Let me go, please, I'll soon run downstairs." But Big Bruin was angry and shouted out, "No! You had no right to come hither, and now you shan't go. What we mean to do with you ere long you shall find. You can lie there and cry till I make up my mind." To Mammy and Tiny then did Big Bruin roar, "Go and block up the chimney and nail up the door. This Golden Hair now has got into a scrape, and if I can help it she shall not escape." But Golden Hair saw that a window was there. It was always kept open to let in fresh air. So she jumped out of bed, to the window she ran, saying, "3 bears, good-bye, catch me now if you can." To the window the bears flew as fast as they could, but Golden Hair flew like the wind through the wood. She said the bear's breath had filled her with steam, but when she grew older she said 'twas a dream, and no doubt she was right to take such a view. Still, some part of the story is certainly true. For unto this day there is no one who dares to say that there never existed 3 bears. End of the story of the 3 bears. Recording by Lucy Perry in Bath on September the 13th, 2009.